Critics have called it an expensive display of Western arrogance. With more than $1 billion spent and just 4 convictions so far, all of them African, some member nations have threatened to quit. But supporters argue the International Criminal Court does what it set out to do, provide justice to victims and a deterrent to perpetrators of some of the world's worst atrocities.
Yes, the impunity gap has closed. It has. It may not be perfect. It is not perfect by any means, but we'd rather get going than focus on what happened when there was none at all.
As the ICC's founding statute of Rome turns 20 this week, commemorative events at its smart new headquarters in The Hague look to the future.
We must be unwavering in our resolve to create a world that seeks justice for atrocity crimes, universally applied and blindly applied. Let the Rome Statute continue to guide us towards that better future for all.
The ICC was founded as a permanent court of last resort from which no leader, rebel group or army could hide. Now, despite grumblings among some of its members, severe budgetary constraints and the difficulty of arresting indictees without an international police force at its disposal, the permanence of this court isn't in doubt. But there are significant gaps in its reach and in global commitment to it. Big powers like Russia, China and the United States aren't members, and while cases can be referred to the court by the UN Security Council, all of those countries hold veto powers.
Russia is blocking efforts to send Syria to the International Criminal Court, even though the Assad government, really with Putin's backing, has deliberately targeted civilians as a way of waging this war. China seems to be standing in the way of sending Myanmar to the International Criminal Court, even though it ethnically cleansed 700,000 Rohingya Muslims in the course of a month. The United States is continuing to try to protect Israel, to protect Saudi Arabia. So there is a very unprincipled approach to international justice.
All of which puts alleged war crimes in Syria and Gaza beyond its reach. But the ICC is broadening its scope with new investigations in Venezuela, the Philippines, Georgia and Afghanistan. But it must also compete with the rise of nationalism and growing disdain for global institutions, ominous signs for the strengthening of international justice. Jonah, Al Jazeera, The Hague.